Hey, welcome to my channel. This is going to be something that I want to just yap about my problems. I want to discuss philosophical points. Let me move my camera. Talk about anything really, and I would just like to use this as my outlet to talk about those ideas and things going on. And it's kind of a secret channel. I don't want people seeing it, just kind of on the down low. I just wanted to talk about some certain viewpoints which I can carry on to my next videos, talk about and add on. So this video, I want to talk about the blind problems with modern society. I have my computer out right now, and I have all the things written down. I'd just like to talk about some certain things, and I'll talk about it as it's written. I'll just say it. It was June 17th, 1596, and Willem Barents, a Dutch navigator and cartographer by trade, was sailing through the treacherous Arctic Sea with his crew in hopes to discover the Northeast Passage, a sea route from Europe to Asia. This was his third attempted search, and he had been sailing for 2 years in search of it. Looking off his ship through the cold sea, he noticed pointed peaks, which he called Spitzbergen. He was the first person to discover the archipelago known as Svalbard, and it took 329 years from his discovery for the archipelago to be claimed and recognized as part of a nation in 1925, granting sovereignty to Norway. This was the last truly lawless and unclaimed place on Earth, and is still remote to this day, with some inhabitants mainly of Norse and Soviet origin. Personal freedom. The freedom to do what you want. The ability to have absolute and uncontrolled freedom. More than just liberty, but a true and honest freedom to do as you please, under no authority or control. Just as Svalbard had been for a very long time, it was under no control from anybody, and you could confidently say it was wild. In my country of the United States, we are the shining example of freedom, except that is what they want you to think, whatever the hell they consider life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness. It is not freedom. It is control, corruption, greed, and lies. You are always controlled by some nation or power. No matter where you go on this earth, can you fully escape. One might say you could escape to some remote nowhere, but the truth is, you are still under a nation's jurisdiction, and they are completely within their rights to take action and do what they can to keep whatever their idea of justice is up and in check. We are brainwashed from the comfort of society to just accept this fact, that we will never have true freedom as a replacement for possible easier living. But this is completely wrong. The human spirit was never meant to be in such a complicated thing we now live in, and it secretly yearns for a pre-industrialized society. The reasoning behind this is, while the living conditions, medical field, or livelihood, or anything else, weren't as good, we lived as a free society, built almost perfectly to live in the natural environment. As long as society gives the promise of whatever they say, in America's case, life, liberty, and the pursuit of happiness, there will be people who think it's a great idea to join the government and loyally control its citizens. Because in their minds, they likely think they're doing good for all of us. And maybe they're essential workers, or certain police, or people who just join the military, join the military with absolutely no malice, etc. The problem is blind faith in an ultimately terrible nation, because the truth is the government can be so insanely corrupt to the point they will continuously hurt us people, and we just have to shrug it off. Now, I am going to list many instances of absolutely horrific things my government's done. This is excluding the other extreme things the world's nations have done to their peoples, as that would be a very tedious thing to do. Imagine trying to list every atrocity, everything that the world's modern governments have done. It's an extensive list that I just can't bother myself to do. That's ridiculous. So, like I've been trying to do, I'm focusing on the American government. MK Ultra was a CIA-backed government group whose main job was learning about mind control, using extremely morally incorrect ways to experiment. This involved dosing unwilling and willing people with LSD, small or large amounts, in an extreme and incorrect manner, and in many cases, absolute torture, sensory deprivation, and hypnosis. The Willowbrook State School experiments were children with intellectual disabilities who were purposely injected with hepatitis. There's so many, I'm not even going to list all of them. This is one that happened near where I live. The Edgewood Arsenal test was a case where thousands of soldiers were exposed to nerve agents and psychoactive drugs without their consent. I'm going to do a couple more. NSA's wiretapping. Now, this is a recent one. This is in the 2000s, I believe, 2013, which was they basically got exposed for doing mass surveillance on citizens without warrants. And this is post 9/11, so they're trying to catch terrorists, but it's in a ridiculous, unconstitutional way where they were completely just spying on tons and tons of people. Another thing would be the Philadelphia Move bombing, which was when police dropped a bomb on a Black Liberation Group's home, killing 11 people, including children, and destroying 61 homes. That was a whole neighborhood completely flattened. If you look up the images of the Move bombing, it's ridiculous. One more. Operation Midnight Climax, where CIA-run brothels in San Francisco and New York, where sex workers dosed unwilling clients with LSD for observation behind one-way mirrors. Like the black mirrors, they'd sit behind the mirror and watch the person who was unwillingly dosed. That is only the tip of the iceberg. Another part of the government and society I would like to get into, which inhibits our freedom, are Congress and corrupt organizations. While I haven't done a ton of research into that, there's problems like I've researched before, which I'm not going to mention, or problems like lobbying, and I would like to get into corruption behind bribery for the most part. So Congress was historically and still is corrupted by companies, or basically anyone with money, due to bribery. It has been an intertwined thing that is a huge issue. These people are the people who are supposed to be creating laws to control and support society, and they are not prioritizing that, to say the least. Big companies like Boeing, BlackRock, Big Tobacco, alcohol businesses, big pharmaceuticals, etc., the list goes on, are extremely corrupt by our sick capitalistic mentality. The best thing, now this is important, I've wanted to do this for a while and I hope I can do it someday. The best thing a person can do is shut themselves out from society and become completely self-efficient. Do not rely on anyone for anything, and be completely reliant on yourself only. Do not let the government get involved in any of your business, and do not pay taxes. Do not buy anything, as that would be supporting the government. Forget the traditional lifestyle we have been so accustomed to, and encourage others to do the same. It doesn't matter what type of government it is, capitalist, communist, socialist, etc., etc. They will never, ever have your best interest in mind. And us as people are very bad at realizing that the government does not have our best interests in mind. Now, that was my section that I just wrote down for personal freedom. Personal freedom is something that, sorry, that's the AC, by the way, it just kicked in. Personal freedom is something that's, you can't, there's not a person on this earth who doesn't believe in their own personal freedom, who wants to have personal freedom themselves. People will want freedom. The problem with that is that society has been so brainwashed to the point where us as people are trapped, and we don't even realize it because we're brainwashed into the comforts of society by the promise of better living, like I said earlier, prior. The problem with that is, well, now you're kind of their guinea pig. Like I mentioned earlier, all the things they do to their people, that was, like I said, the tip of the iceberg. I could list so many very problematic things the government has done. And so, that's all I gotta say. Keep in touch with my videos. I'm gonna post out some more tonight, and hopefully somebody likes them. See ya.